Story recapped here. Today I'm going to explain a mystery and thriller film called Run. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A single mother named Diane Sherman gives birth prematurely to a daughter named Chloe. Due to Chloe's condition, she is stuck temporarily in an incubator. Diane cries as she helplessly watches her poor daughter. Several years later, at the age of 17, Chloe suffers from arrhythmia, hemochromatosis, diabetes, and paralysis. Because of her state, she's bound to a wheelchair and is forced to take medications every day. Despite her daughter's conditions, Diane does her best to make their home comfortable for them. She monitors her health strictly and is in charge of her education. She also grows their own vegetables that she serves to her daughter. Chloe grows up with a consistent routine and looks forward to reading her university acceptance letters. However, her mother insists on not handing the mail to her. But despite her stuck condition, Chloe becomes highly skilled in technology and engineering, her favorite being robotics. One day, after attempting to secure chocolates behind her mother's back, Chloe sees a pack of green capsules prescribed to her mother. She finds this suspicious because she knows that the medicine is meant for her. That night, Diane gives her the pill. Chloe asks Diane why her name is on it instead of hers, but she tells her that it's part of the receipt. Chloe is unconvinced, but she drinks the medicine anyway despite hints of suspicions. The following day, she refuses to take the medicine and checks for its contents. Questions arise in her mind whether or not the medication is helpful for her condition. She uses one of her inventions to reach for the bottle in the medicine cabinet. When her mom leaves, she examines the bottle, which is labeled as trigoxin. She checks the bottle and finds a pharmacy label with her name covering Diane's. When Diane lets her drink the capsule, she spits it out after her mom leaves. Eager to know more about the capsule, she sneaks out of her room to look up trigoxin. However, their internet connection is not working, so she is left clueless. She feels frustration and a sense of entrapment, but she is left with no choice but to endure Diane's rules. The following morning, Chloe finds a chance to use the telephone in her mom's bedroom. She dials a random number while her mom is busy gardening, and a stranger answers the phone. She asks the guy to look up the medication for her after explaining that it is an emergency. At first, the guy refuses to help her, but after some desperate convincing, he obliges her request. The guy Googles trigoxin and reads that it is a medication for severe heart conditions, but Chloe wants to know more. To ensure that it is the green capsule, Chloe asks the guy to look at the Google images and tell her the color of trigoxin capsules. To her surprise, the guy says that all trigoxin capsules are red. Chloe's doubts grow more and more as she confirms that the green capsule is not what her mom says it is. Chloe comes up with a plan to know more about the green capsule. She knows that the plan is a gamble, so she must find every opportunity she can. Chloe asks Diane if they could go and watch a movie in the cinema, and her mom agrees. As part of her plan, she brings samples of the medicine hidden in her piggy bank. In the middle of the movie, she tells Diane that she needs to go to the bathroom. Her mother offers assistance, but she says that it will be fine. Finally, answers about the medicine are within reach as she makes her way to the local pharmacy without Diane knowing. She rushes inside and sees a long queue of customers. She uses her disability to her advantage and skips the long line. Mrs. Bates, the pharmacist, is surprised to see Chloe without Diane after years of strict supervision of Chloe. She hands Mrs. Bates the green capsule and asks her to look up its name under her mom's recent purchases. However, Mrs. Bates refuses to disclose any information because the buyer is her mother, and they follow a strict confidentiality protocol. Chloe thinks of making Mrs. Bates give her the info and observes the counter, where she sees a family picture with her family in a breakout room. She lies and tells that she and Diane are playing a game, and the next clue is about the medicine. Mrs. Bates gets a bit giddy and eventually reveals that the green medication is a relaxant called lidocaine for dogs. After hearing this, Chloe starts to hyperventilate, realizing that she has been tricked into drinking medicine for dogs all these years. She shakingly asks the pharmacist what would happen if a human took the medication. Mrs. Bates tells her that a person's legs could go numb. At that moment, Diane enters the store and rushes to Chloe, who is now having an asthma attack after hearing about the side effects. She asks the other customers to step aside from them, as her daughter needs more air. Diane sedates Chloe, which makes her unconscious without being seen. Back at home, Diane realizes that Chloe is beginning to doubt her, making her cope with a way to make the situation better. To control the issue, she calls Mrs. Bates to apologize for the commotion earlier. She informs the pharmacist that Chloe's new medications caused her to act and behave out of control. Diane brainstorms ways to cover the fact that she has been giving her daughter medication for dogs. Running out of options, Diane looks up household neurotoxins as an alternative. She is becoming more unstable and anxious by the fact that her daughter might despise her. Chloe wakes up the following morning, realizing that she has slept through the day. She gets up and finds out that Diane has locked her inside her room. She calls for Diane, but she does not answer as she runs an errand outside. Chloe tries to look for something in the room that she could use to pick the lock. This is ineffective as the door is also locked with a rake from the outside, which is behind Diane's obsession with keeping her daughter inside. Chloe begins to worry about her safety and thinks of a way out. Odds are certainly not in her favor, given that all her life, Diane has assisted her. When she notices that Diane's car isn't parked in the driveway, she comes up with a plan. She uses multiple extension wires to plug the soldering iron as she stores some water in her mouth. She makes her way to the window of her mom's bedroom through her window. Chloe struggles to drag herself across the roof because of immobility in her legs, but she manages to reach the window. She uses the soldering iron to crack the window, and she spits the water out so the window would break instantly. She safely gets inside but starts to feel an asthma attack, so she rushes for her inhaler as she gasps for air. Once she feels better, she tries to get on the ramp to go downstairs, but Diane has cut the wires, again, to keep her from going out. Without a choice, Chloe throws her wheelchair down the stairs, causing her to fall accidentally. Lying on the floor, she realizes that she can move her foot, which results from skipping the green capsules. The sight of it gives her a sense of hope and a stronger will to fight back. She is more determined than ever to get up and escape. She steps outside the house and rolls her wheelchair along the road. She hears a vehicle approaching and hides, thinking that it may be her mother. Luckily, she sees the mail truck and rushes to stop it, almost hurting herself in the process. Tom, the mailman, is relieved to find that he did not run her over. Chloe tells him about her situation, and he decides to help her. As she is about to enter the truck, both of them see Diane's car approaching, so they step back. Diane spots them and rushes to the mail truck as well. She asks Tom if her daughter is hurt, but he stops her from going near Chloe. Diane gets more frantic and agitated towards Tom. She explains that the medication is messing up Chloe's way of thinking, but Tom remains unconvinced. According to him, Chloe looks really bad. Tom tells Diane he can't let her take Chloe. Both of them agree that Tom will take Chloe to the hospital while she follows them in her car. Chloe tells him she wants to go to the police instead of the hospital. However, while he is closing up the van to take Chloe to the police station for assistance, Diane stabs him with a sedative syringe. Chloe's sense of safety has faded once again. She is certain that this time, things are going to get worse. She starts to panic again, as she knows that she will end up in Diane's care. Back in the house, Chloe wakes up and finds out that she is trapped inside the basement, with her wheelchair chained. Diane uses this room to mix medications and other substances that she gives Chloe. As Chloe observes the room, she discovers all the mail that was meant for her. She unravels a document that shows her college acceptance letter, making her feel more betrayed than ever. All she ever wanted was to make a life of her own despite being limited physically. Her freedom and future are taken away from her by the person she trusted the most. Meanwhile, Diane drags Tom's body across the house to get rid of it and hide any signs of evidence. Back in the room, Chloe comes across a box of photos of her as a child where she sees a picture of her, perfectly healthy and able to walk. Chloe realizes that her disability is orchestrated by Diane, who gave her insane amounts of medication that messed with her health. Digging for more evidence, she comes across a death certificate of a girl named Chloe, who died 2 hours after her birth. She then sees an article about a couple who had their baby stolen in a hospital 17 years ago. It is revealed that Diane's real daughter has died because of premature birth, and she stole Chloe as a baby from her original parents, then claimed her as her own since then. Chloe cries helplessly after knowing the truth about her identity and how her life could have been. Diane enters the basement and sees that Chloe has opened the box. She defends herself and insists that she is Chloe's real mom. According to her, she saved Chloe from her parents. Chloe then questions Diane if she was ever really sick and accuses her of poisoning her. Diane's obsession with having a child has taken her too far. She tries to make a deal with Chloe to start all over again and forget about everything that happened. Diane insists that everything she ever did was protect Chloe while filling a syringe with paint thinner to make her forget. Chloe crawls to a small room and locks herself inside just before Diane could reach her. She sees a bottle of organophosphate, which is a lethal substance. Chloe realizes that Diane needs her more, so she drinks it. Afraid that she might lose her daughter, Diane rushes Chloe to the hospital in hopes of saving her. Doctors try to save her, and they are successful despite her being on the brink of death. Chloe wakes up in the hospital but is unable to move or even speak. Her condition just became worse. The doctors inform Diane that she could not take Chloe home unless she gets consultation from a psychiatrist. She is considered a high-risk patient because of her attempt to take her own life. Diane watches Chloe from the window, making Chloe cry in fear that she might be trapped again. She manages to press the button and signal the nurse that she wants to write something. The nurse brings her a paper and a crayon so they could communicate. Before the nurse could read her message, a code blue is called, making the nurse rush out. Diane takes advantage of the situation and sneaks to Chloe's room to take her home. She manages to bring her downstairs and apologizes to Chloe for scaring her. The nurse returns to Chloe's room and finds her missing. She looks at the paper with mom written on it. Security informs the whole hospital to track Diane and Chloe. Diane rushes even more but realizes that there is no way for her to run back to the car as the escalator is broken, and she cannot use the stairs. She tries to go to another exit, but Chloe moves her feet to stop the wheelchair. When Diane confronts her, Chloe is able to mutter the words, "I do not need you." The police show up and command Diane to put her gun down. She refuses to do so and gets shot in the shoulder. It causes her to fall down the stairs and gain serious injuries. Chloe looks at Diane from above, realizing that she is now safe. 7 years later, Chloe visits a correctional facility. She still uses a wheelchair but has partial control of her legs, so she uses a cane to go through the metal detector. She wheels into an infirmary and begins talking about her husband, kids, and her job. A good life came after her unfortunate fate in the hands of Diane. The sick and paralyzed Diane listens to her stories about how great her life is. She is immobile and unable to react to anything. After some moments, Chloe spits the green capsules out of her mouth, She tells Diane that she loves her before commanding her to open her mouth and take the capsules. This is Chloe's ultimate and bitter revenge. Now that she has control over her life, the situation has turned upside down and in her favor. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.